Staying with us, we are on to another part of Sports Tonight. And of course, on this part of the show, I have my regulars, COPA America crew. Sisi Amorogo, and of course, Taya Salam, COPA America crew. Good to have you once again on Sports Tonight. I'm sure you guys are resting today. Action begins in a few hours, as we always say, with the quarterfinals. And for me, this is where the tournament really begins. Right. So on the program tonight, what we'll be doing, of course, is to face the first quarterfinal game, which is the host against Ecuador. Talk about it extensively, and then tomorrow we'll give you the preview for the other quarterfinal matches. But for you, what's been the story so far?
USA, I mean, you know, when they lost their opening game to Colombia, everyone was like, host nation, are they going to go out at the group stage? But somehow they were able to bounce back against Costa Rica, Paraguay. They won those two games, and they ended up topping that group, and of course avoiding a potential clash with another big side. I think the Americans, what they were able to achieve in that group stage, they can actually carry that into the quarterfinals. They can actually upset Ecuador. Ecuador, on their part, check the way they started: goalless against Brazil, goalless against Peru. Of course, against Haiti, you know, they won that one 4-0, so they now had to finish second in their group. On both sides, looking at the competition so far, I think the Americans have an edge if you're going to look at that. Now, take a look at the head-to-head record. Ranked 29th in the world for the Americans, Ecuador 12th. Then, when it comes to wins, in the last games they played recently, Ecuador has the upper one, 5, of course, for the Americans, 3. So it shows that another thing is that the Americans, 7 of their players are actually on yellow cards. 7. I mean, when you're having something like that, it's going to be difficult for them to, like, the clearances they were making, especially for John Brooks.
I understand your point, but Tayo,
yes,
at this stage of the competition, you are not even looking at your cards anymore. You are looking at winning that game. If it means you make sacrifices, get 2-3 players who will miss the next one, the most important thing is that you qualify. Some other guys will play the role, and the suspended players could be back for the crucial stages. So at this point, all you need to do, and I'm sure you agree with me.
Just go out and play.
Jürgen Klinsmann has been using almost the same squad in the 3 games they've played.
I get what you're saying. It might actually affect them psychologically. But then, like Ibia said, professionals these days, you know, you forget about if you're going to miss on the next game. What matters is, you know, the game in front of you. You know, go in there, do what you have to do, help your team qualify, and deal with what happens afterwards. Cecilia, granted, Ecuador have the advantage at its head-to-head, but when it comes to their recent meetings, the USA, the last time they met, sometimes in May, was in a friendly match. The USA won that one 1-0. Darlington and Nagbe scored the goal in that one. So I'm sure the USA would take
spots.
Yeah, exactly. The USA would take, you know, a bit of confidence from that one, you know, thinking they can go into this game with their fans behind them, you know, and cause an upset. Because make no mistake about it, if they win tonight, it's going to be an upset because Ecuador, they've got the better quality in the team. I mean, the likes of Antonio Valencia, Enner Valencia, great players all over the park.
Tested warriors.
Exactly, yeah. So if they beat Ecuador tonight, which is very possible they can do it, because at the start of the tournament I said I was expecting nothing less than the last 4 finish from the USA. They've got a chance tonight with the fans behind them. I'm not ruling that out at all.
All right, Jürgen Klinsmann, coach of the US, has been talking. We'll just listen to what he has to say. But Sisi, he believes that they can go for the win. That's what he's been telling the boys, that they can go for the win. And I think they can really count on the lessons that they learned in that first game against Colombia to know what exactly Ecuador could be offering.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when he has seen his squad, he knows what they can actually, you know, play. He knows that some of his players are also on yellow cards and everything, so he actually knows what to tell them. You know, when you have a coach who are actually using the same players in the same squad, you know, in 3 games, he hasn't changed it. So he knows that his player will definitely want to come out and play this one. But he had to actually tell them to be very, very cautious, because when a player gets another card and is sent out, that's, I mean, numerically, they're down.
No.
Numerically, they're actually down.
The sending off can only happen if you pick 2 cards in one game. If you pick 1 caution, you are suspended for the next one. Would you rather have your cards intact and be able to play, and you're
Get
out,
knocked out.
or your team is still in the
I'm just saying
competition.
they should be more careful in their clearances and everything.
But when you're careful, you don't get to give your
You don't
all.
you don't become over careful.
Exactly, yeah. So just go in there. Forget about the potential, ban in the next round. Go there, give your all, and give the United States a very good chance of qualifying for the semifinals. The last time, the best performance is at the Copa America is actually a semifinal place. So they can go, they can go and do the same thing this year around. So the likes of Clint Dempsey, we've mentioned him all over throughout this tournament, has been really crucial, to their game. Yes, Jermaine Jones there as well, to John Brooks, Michael Bradley, all those guys will have to really, step up tonight, for the USA to have a chance, because Ecuador right now, based on form, based on pedigree, they are the better side. They've got the better players. I forgot to mention Jefferson Montero as well, who plays for Swansea. Very, very good winger. Likes to go to the byline, and find a striker in the box. So on the top there, CONMEBOL World Cup qualifying group. That shows how good they are right now. So they've got the edge. They're the favorites, but I'm not ruling out the USA doing something in this game.
Okay, let's do this very quickly before we talk about Brazil and the new man that will be leading. I mean, I don't envy that guy at all. That's a high-pressure job. But before we talk about Brazil, if the Americans are knocked out at this stage, should there be any shame for Klinsmann?
Yeah, I think
is that going to be a lot of pressure? Are people going to be expecting that it's going to be taking out the likes of Ecuador, even if they are playing at home?
Yeah, I think he actually gave himself that big shot, when he was able to beat Paraguay and Costa Rica. So everyone will be expecting so much from him. He has seen the team. He has seen what has happened at the group stage. So he should be able to target what he can get against Ecuador. But if he gets to beat Ecuador, I think they're going to give him credit for that. But if he loses the game, I don't think it's going to be like it's a shame for the Americans, because head-to-head, players-wise and everything, Ecuador is definitely a better side.
Tyler, you agree?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, yeah.
But playing at home, she will give you that little edge.
Yes.
That should be some kind of advantage in a competition like this.
I mean, surely home field advantage is real, no matter how I want to say it is real. So your fans behind you, you don't want to disappoint them. But I won't go as far as saying it's going to be a shame if they lose this game. It's not going to be a shame. It will be very disappointing going out at this stage, but it's not going to be a shame. But they have what it's.
But it depends on how they lose. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah,
if they lose, if it's to give a fight, then maybe the fans will be angry.
Exactly.
But if they go down fighting, then the fans will say, "Look, these guys give their best."
I mean, it's the knockout stage. Someone has got to go home anyway. So, so I'm looking forward to this particular match. It's going to be very interesting. I imagine the crowd is going to be partisan, obviously, in favor of the.
So, why are you putting your money, Tayo?
Cecilia, where you putting your money?
You guys are not ready to stick out your necks.
It's going to be hard.
At the start of the competition, I said I expected the United States to get to the semifinals. I'm not going to change my mind now.
All right, so you think they win this one?
Yeah, I think they can make it.
It's going to be hard. Okay, I think they can actually pull off an upset.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so the two of them are going for the Americans to win, but we'll see what happens in a few hours. Of course, we'll be here to talk about it tomorrow. But before we wrap it up, Brazil have a new man in charge, Adeno Bachi, also called Tite.
Yeah.
That's the man that will be doing the hard job now of taking the whole of Brazil on his shoulders.
Yeah, incredible stuff, right? Tite, Dunga, and when you go back and actually find out the real names of these guys, you rather stick with their name. You rather stick with Tite and Dunga, yeah, but that's the new man there. He's 55 years old. He's from Brazil, former coach of Corinthians, Grêmio, Atletico Mineiro, Palmeiras, Al Ain, Al Wahda, that's in the United Arab Emirates. So it shows he's a very he's got great experience. He's got a great CV as well too on the side. But we know the Brazil job is a bit different from managing all those clubs we've mentioned. The pressure is totally different. It's just crazy. I mean, it's very hard to handle. Like you said, Tony, you don't envy this guy at all. He goes there straight, knowing he's got to win Olympic gold for Brazil, at the real game. So I wonder how he's going to handle this.
All right. High pressure job. You don't want to be the coach of Brazil. They can fire anybody. You could be a legend of the game. You could be their hero. The next moment, you are out. Dunga will tell you better. All right? But we want you to talk to us about all of this as we go along on the show tonight. What do you feel at this crucial stage of Copa America? And of course, what do you also feel about the new man that will be leading Brazil? I hope, well, at least for starters, I hope it doesn't win Olympic gold because Nigeria will be participating. Maybe it can win Olympic silver. That would be fine. But Olympic gold, no. I want you to talk to us on that as well on social media. Well, Tayo, thank you so much for your time. Sisi, thank you so much for coming on Sports Tonight once again.
Thank you.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Definitely.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Thank you. We'll be right back with more on Sports Tonight. Join us again.